afternoon, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Dodger Stadium. I'm Alana Rizzo with Sportsnet LA, the official television home of your Los Angeles Dodgers. Before we get to today's very exciting and big announcement, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to the members of our panel, the guests that are on stage today. From left to right, this man certainly doesn't need any introduction. We're going to get into your accomplishments in just a little bit, but for now, I'll just introduce you. Dodgers closer, Kenley Jansen. All-Star Justin Turner. Dodger manager and manager of the year, Dave Roberts. Los Angeles City Council member and a huge supporter of your LA Dodgers, Gil Cedillo. Dodger president and CEO, Stan Kasten. And Major League Baseball Commissioner, Rob Manfred. Commissioner?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today to make official one of the worst-kept secrets in Major League Baseball. The 2020 All-Star Game presented by MasterCard has been awarded to the Los Angeles Dodgers in the city of Los Angeles. The Dodgers prevailed in what has become a very competitive process to secure All-Star games. We're very fortunate. We had a number of cities that were interested in hosting the game in 2020 and now beyond 2020, so congratulations to the Dodgers. There were really three important things that distinguished the Dodger bid. First of all, we thought Los Angeles would be a great place to showcase the young stars in our game. Secondly, is where we are today. Dodger Stadium is one of our iconic stadiums, and it's particularly appropriate that we bring an all-star game here. The third factor is one that Stan Kasten mentioned to me once or twice during the process, and that was that there hadn't been an all-star game here in Los Angeles since 1980, so it's time for us to be back here. The Los Angeles effort was an outstanding collaboration between the club, Mark Walter, Stan Kasten, Lon Rosen, Bob Wolf, and the city of Los Angeles. I'd like to thank Mayor Garcetti and members of the city council for all the help that they gave us in making this a reality. The All-Star Game has really become a four-day celebration of baseball. It begins with Fan Fest, our various play ball initiatives, the Futures Game, the Celebrity Softball Game, and then, of course, the Home Run Derby and the game itself on Tuesday. And the nice thing about that series of events, it gives people of all ages and circumstances an opportunity to actively participate and engage in the festivities, and it's really important to the growth of our game. If any of you has a doubt that the city of Los Angeles and the Los Angeles Dodgers are a great pick for the All-Star Game in 2020, we put together a little video that you can see behind you to demonstrate why we're so excited about being here and being here with the Dodgers. Thank you very much.
This emerald patch of grass, this hallowed ground, ghosts of greatness past, spirits of the future ahead. This immaculate diamond, facets reflecting perfection. This mound, this base, this place. These lights competing with stars shining from within, beacons touching all of us. This crowd, a sea flowing, swelling, its mighty waves taking us up, up, ever higher. The city, seekers of superstars, supernovas, lighting the heavens. The stadium, rafters echoing with the past. These blades of grass growing upwards to the sky, reaching for the stars. This place, this special place, inviting our heroes to come together and play a game. To thrill us, to move us, taking us by the hand to show us the way. So come one, come all, it's lights, camera, action. Welcome to the show. You're all invited. We'll welcome the best from all over the world to come to this special place. For this is more than steel, concrete, dirt, and grass. This is our home. and we can't wait.
It's now my pleasure to introduce my longtime colleague and sometimes friend, Stan Kasten, the president and CEO of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Thank you. Thank you. You earned a couple extra friend points today, Rob. It's with great appreciation that I thank Rob for this very special announcement today, something we have been working for. Let me tell you how long we've been working for. The last time we had a gathering like this in center field was May 2nd, 2012, and it was the press conference to announce this new ownership's acquisition of the team. And as we sat out here, Rob, before he was commissioner, was out there in the audience, and he was there as I fielded questions, among which was the question, when are you guys going to get us an all-star game? That was literally on my first day here that question was asked, and we have worked very hard on it since then. It's a long, complicated process, as it should be, because there is no team and no city and no group of fans across America that doesn't deserve an all-star game and that wouldn't do a great job. But I think the fact that we are not just the second biggest market in America, we are not just the media and entertainment capital of the world. We are also, in the last few years, we have become, at Dodger Stadium, the most heavily attended sports venue in the world. And we remain, as we have since that first day in 1962, the most beautiful venue ever built to play or watch the game of baseball. So we are very honored. So we are very honored to bring back an all-star game to Dodger Stadium. Now, the next 2 years will be very active for us. Obviously, we're going to be sending a team this year to Washington and a team next year to Cleveland to examine how they're doing things. But we're Los Angeles. We know how to throw parties. We know how to host big events. And you can bet the party here in 2 years will be extraordinary. So we have already begun planning. I also think it will be a good time for us to maybe do our next set of upgrades, renovations, and additions to Dodger Stadium. I don't have a full plan yet today to tell you. I probably will in about a year. But we will start having things to announce, even in the next few days, about some of the upcoming plans that we have for the physical property of what I said is already the most beautiful stadium ever built to play baseball. Now, one other thing I want to say about the process, it's not just that it took time and that there were other people in line, because there are new stadiums, there are cities that deserve it, and every city is deserving of one. But because we are so busy, because there are so many things going on in Los Angeles, we may also be the most conflicted in terms of schedule of any city. And it's hard getting all these spaces, all the venues, all the areas that we need to throw this week-long of activities. We have had a lot of effort to work out those conflicts. I want to particularly extend my thanks to Eric Garcetti, who can't join us today, but the city and the mayor's office has been extraordinary in helping us work through these conflicts. And I particularly also want to thank Gil Cedillo on behalf of the City Council, who, besides being a tremendous public servant for all the cities of this district, is a particularly big fan and supporter of the Dodgers and all of Dodger fans. So I want to thank Gil, and I'd like to invite him up to say a few words. Thank you, Gil.
What a great pleasure. First of all, let me say on behalf of the mayor, we are so excited. Let me introduce my colleague, Joe Buscaino. Please stand up, all the way from San Pedro. What a great privilege and honor it is to be here. I grew up in Boyle Heights, right down the street. I remembered my father bringing us in through the back routes, making our way up here, watching Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Maury Wills, all the great Dodgers, Willie Davis from Roosevelt High School, fellow alum. And so it's just an honor and privilege to be here today with everyone. It is so exciting and it's so timely. This is a time for people to come to Los Angeles. It's a great city where everybody comes from around the world. We speak over 200 languages. everyone comes here to realize their best and greatest hopes and aspirations. And so there's no greater platform for Major League Baseball All-Stars than to be here, the jam of the stadiums that we know in this nation. And so it's a real honor to be here, as we say frequently, in the First District. What wine is to Napa, what ag is to the Central Valley, sports and entertainment is to Los Angeles, to our economy. It brings vibrancy, it brings everybody together, and what Dodger baseball is to the First District. This is going to be a home run. Thank each and every one of you. God bless you, and let's play ball.
All right, let's introduce some very special guests that we have in attendance, even in addition to the special guests that we have up on the stage. Whenever you think about Dodger Stadium, or whenever you visit Dodger Stadium, you are consumed with the storied history of this amazing franchise. Who would be better to introduce the history of what this team means when you can come to batting practice, any home game, and see this very special man? He is always the best dressed person. I don't care who is here. He is always the best dressed person at Dodger Stadium. As a member of the Brooklyn Dodgers, he was the 1949 National League Rookie of the Year. In 1956, he was the National League MVP and also the first pitcher to win the Cy Young Award. He was a member of 4 National League All-Star teams, including the 1949 team, which included teammates Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella, the first African Americans to ever play in Major League Baseball's All-Star game. We are always pleased and proud to welcome Dodgers Special Advisor to the Chairman, now in his 61st season with the team, the incomparable, the great Don Newcomb. When Dodger Stadium last hosted the All-Star Game in 1980, there were 6 Dodgers on that National League team, 4 of them in the starting lineup. We would like to welcome 2 of those starters who are joining us today. First, an outfielder and first baseman who was a 7-time All-Star. You guys have a few years to catch up to this. 7-time All-Star. His first 2 appearances were as a member of the Boston Red Sox, followed by 2 appearances as a St. Louis Cardinal, and then 3 appearances as a Dodger. Please welcome Reggie Smith. This 3-time All-Star spent his entire 18-year career as a member of the Dodgers. He was the shortstop for the record-setting group known to Dodger fans as the infield. After his playing career, he continued to work with the organization as a coach and manager. Please welcome back Bill Russell. This 6-time All-Star joined Bill Russell as the third baseman for their 8-year run as the longest consecutive infield in Major League history. Only one other player has hit more home runs as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers, 1981 World Series co-MVP Ron Cey. Our next guest played for 20 years in the majors, 13 of those as a member of the Dodgers. His .315 career batting average as a Dodger is the second best in the history of this team in LA. He was a National League All-Star in 1973 and is one of the greatest pinch hitters in the history of the sport. Please welcome a man who is in his 50th season of service to his beloved team, Manny Mota. The video that we watched earlier in today's ceremony was narrated by a voice very familiar to Dodger fans, of course, the incomparable Vin Scully. But there is an equally familiar voice that Dodger fans have heard since he joined the Spanish broadcast team in 1959, a voice that continues to be heard today. He has worked on the Spanish broadcast of 19 All-Star games and 25 World Series. Like his former colleague, Mr. Scully, he too is a recipient of the Ford C. Frick Award from the Baseball Hall of Fame. This year marks his 60th year of service to the team. Please welcome Dodger broadcasting legend, Jaime Jarrín. "60 years of service is good, Jaime, but somebody next to you has you beat." Our next guest is now in his 69th season of service to the Dodgers. He managed the team to 2 World Series championships and in 1996 was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. He was also the manager of 4 National League All-Star teams, posting an impressive 3-1 record in the process. He is the Dodgers' special advisor to the chairman, nobody better than the great Tommy Lasorda. We have 2 more special dignitaries from the city of Los Angeles that we would like to acknowledge. Councilmember Joe Buscaino, we thank you for your support, sir. Thank you for being here. And representing Mayor Eric Garcetti is Deputy Mayor Billy Chun. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. It's great to have you here. Our next speaker will be the manager of this year's National League All-Star team in Washington, D.C. He becomes the 6th manager to have that honor. Please welcome the manager of the defending National League champions, Dave Roberts.
Thank you, Alana. And first off, thank you, Commissioner, for being here, and Stan, and Mr. Gil Cedillo, thank you very much. And for me, it's tough to follow up what you guys said. And for me, speaking for the players, JT, Kenley, it's coming here with humility, gratitude, and you look at all the people that had to work so hard and were relentless to make this opportunity happen for the Los Angeles Dodgers and the city of Los Angeles for 2020 to host a Major League All-Star game. A Summer Classic is something very special, long time overdue, but you take the greatest city in the country with the greatest venue, sports venue in the country, the greatest franchise and sports team and city, and you kind of marry those together, and you've got all these great former legends, Dodger legends, that will have an opportunity to host our country, people and fans and kids, and enjoy that experience in July in 2020. And for me, speaking for the players, coaches, is something that we take very seriously, as Stan said, and it's a huge honor. And we're very grateful. And looking at Naomi right here and talking to her over the last year of what she had to do and how relentless she was in working with the city council members and things like that, that people don't have an understanding on what it took to get done. But for us, Nuke, Reggie, Bill, Ronnie, Manny, Jaime, Tommy, guys being here to support all of us, the city, the Dodgers, we're very humbled and very grateful. And thank you guys very much for this opportunity. It's going to be one heck of a party, as Stan said, in 2020.
It'll be a bigger party if you guys are 2-time world champions by the time we host in 2020.
That's right.
All right, this current member of the Dodgers made his first All-Star appearance last season by way of the final vote, which is absurd it even had to get to that point. It should be called the final votes because he received a record 20.8 million of them. You're pretty popular. 20.8 million of them to beat out the 4 other players who were in the running. Born and raised right here in Southern California, one of the best third basemen in the game, All-Star Justin Turner.
Well, this is quite an honor, as Riz said. I am an Angelino, and in my lifetime, I've never got to witness an All-Star game here in LA. So truly a special day for me, not only as a baseball player, but as a kid who grew up here in Los Angeles. You know, one thing that the commissioner, since he's taken the role over, has been hammering down on us was reaching out to the youth and getting the youth more involved. And that's something, as a player of the Dodgers and our organization, I know we take a lot of pride in getting in our community and building dream fields. And this is just a monster step to growing the game of baseball in what I think is already the most competitive youth baseball city in the country. So thank you very much for giving us this honor. And also, from a player perspective, last year was my first All-Star game, and one of the coolest parts was getting to walk in the home clubhouse of the Miami Marlins and check out their facilities and see everything that they got going on over there and kind of compare it to what we have at our place. So the opportunity to showcase what our ownership group has done to these facilities, not what you guys can see out here, but down underneath, it truly is special, all the work that they put in and the time and the hours and the money to make it one of the best facilities in the country. And I'm honored to get to share that with the best players in the world and have them come in and check out where we get to go to work every day. So that's pretty cool. But thank you.
Thank you, JT. Certainly, the Dodgers lineup is not the same without Justin in that lineup, continuing to work back from that broken wrist. We're looking forward to you picking up a bat, swinging it, and getting back in that lineup. All right, our next Dodger player, you like to go last, don't you, Kenley? You always have to be last, because if he's coming in, that means everybody else has done their job, and he can actually do his. He is a two-time All-Star who has won the Trevor Hoffman National League Reliever of the Year award the last 2 years. He is the Dodgers' all-time saves leader, closer Kenley Jansen.
Man, all this good speech, I mean, it's tough for me now. So, no, but I think this is awesome. A kid growing up from Curacao, been watching Major League, and you just watch one of the big events of the year is the All-Star, and watch all the great players. And I think it's just a great thing for me being a Dodger and representing one of the great history organization, and it's quite an honor to have that All-Star game here. So I can't wait for 2020 to see this, witness it. So thank you. And Stan, it will be great too. So we have an awesome bullpen in 2020.
Thank you, Kenley. Fitting that a team that sent 6 guys to the All-Star game last year is hosting an All-Star game in a couple of years. At this time, Dodger President and CEO Stan Kasten, as well as Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, will take questions from the press. Please raise your hand if you have a question and wait until a microphone comes your way.
For the Commissioner, Jim Hill, CBS 2 and KCAL 9. Hey, thank you for bringing the All-Star game here to our city. What's the best thing about having the All-Star game here at Chavez Ravine, and why did it take so long for it to come back?
Well, let me do the second part first. I can only take responsibility for the last 3 years, so everything before that was on someone else. I think the best thing about LA is the position of this franchise in this community. And what do I mean by that? I think the example of the former Dodgers who are back here today to celebrate this great event is an example of how important this team is to this community and the community itself. I think Stan alluded to it. There's a lot going on here from an entertainment perspective, and I think it gives us the opportunity to make the All-Star game particularly special for the players that are selected to be here.
Great.
We're good.
We're good.
That's right.
Just have Jim Hill ask the only question. I mean, he is the man, but there has to be other questions out there.
It's okay if there isn't.
That's it? You're good? Okay.
we're good.
I guess we're good then. Oh, no.
Yeah. No. Thanks, Jim. You're not helping.
For either one of you guys, you spoke of the collaboration with the city. What were some of the arrangements and stuff that had to be made to make this happen?
Well, there were legitimately conflicts at certain of the venues. You know, we have a 4-day-long fan fest in one of the busiest convention centers in America. We also plan a robust program of events throughout the city. There were undertakings that we have to represent for baseball in terms of security and sanitation and city services and things like that. These are all things that require a lot of work behind the scenes, and we had nothing but 100% support and help from both the mayor's office and from the city council. And it wasn't easy, but the attitude was always there that we want this. It's going to be a huge thing for the city and for our fans. And so the spirit was there from day one. So just a lot of little things that add up to, major hurdles that have to be cleared before we could get this done.
And for Rob, obviously, since the new owners have taken over here, there's been a lot of work done to the stadium. And Stan kind of alluded to the work that they'll be doing in the next 2 years. How important was that, to get the game here?
We always take into consideration the commitment that the ownership group has made to the facility that we're going to use for the All-Star Game. I was very involved in the sale process where Mark and his partners took control of the Dodgers. They made an amazing financial commitment to purchasing the club, and I think one of the things that really is most impressive is the money that they've put into making Dodger Stadium a first-class modern facility while maintaining its history and tradition.